G'day scrappers, thought I'd do a bit of a scrap session, maybe a bit of a marathon, not sure. Just oddball things. I thought I might as well just start off with a standard PC, old school with a floppy. It's actually got a Pentium 2 in it, the old Windows 95 system. Yeah, it's a HP Kayak XA. So probably would have been a good one in its time. And I'll probably keep the boards aside for the guy that sells stuff on eBay. Alright, okay, so there's our Pentium 2 CPU. Only got one RAM stick in there, but it's got 4 cards, and the cards are probably what I mostly want. So yeah, it's I've been reasonably busy, but not really busy doing pickups. Only done one pickup this week, and it was a good pickup, but yeah, certainly nothing new, no new clients or anything. You know, it's probably my fault because I don't advertise much anymore, and so mostly dealing with regulars that have been with me for quite a long time. Competition's tough out there now, you know, with eWaste. So many businesses are chasing it and aggressively advertising. So, oh well, you know, I'd certainly like more work, but oh well, I'm trying to slow down a little bit anyway. So I'll just keep these cards and see if my eBay seller, that's quite a nice card, that one. Nice set of fingers, but yeah, sometimes these are surprisingly worth quite a lot. And this machine being quite a clean machine, nice condition cards anyway. So yeah, so just been scrapping, and thought I'd flip on the camera because it's been a little while since I've put up a video, so I thought I'd just catch up with everyone. And it's a strange power supply. Yeah, that was a bit of a weird one. I've got a few oddball things that I wanted to scrap out, and a bunch of boards that, whilst they're only mid-grade, they're got something a little bit special on each board. Okay. Alright, just got to get this oddball motherboard out. So there's our Pentium 2 CPU. Alright, well, that's a nice oddball motherboard. I'll probably keep the RAM for him too. Sometimes these older RAMs as well. Maybe not, but alright, well that's scrapped. Get rid of this. So that wasn't too bad actually. A decent sized motherboard. And got the 4 cards, the 1 RAM stick, and the Pentium 2 slot CPU. Okay. Oop. So these ones aren't the best ones. The ones with the big chunky BGA are the ones that we really want. These silicon top ones, again, there's very little gold recovery in this actual chip. But it's still a slot CPU. It's got the fingers. Yeah. I'll put that aside for my seller. All right, next thing, just something real oddball. I don't, Ericsson, so it came out of, it's some kind of link switch kind of thing. Not really sure where it came from, but it's here. And it's just one oddball piece. So I've got a feeling there might be a good board behind there. I've never, yeah, I just can't think of what it came out of. Some kind of, you know, obviously some kind of network thing. And so this looks like stainless steel. Wow, that's an interesting board. One of these shields came off. Yeah, it's oh, okay. Wow, there's some giant gold band crystal oscillators. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, that's the most really big ones I've seen on a board. Okay, so these are those power modules. They're not IC chips, just power modules. They look fancy. Looks like a giant IC chip, but it's not. Crystal oscillator, just a regular one. Does have some nice jacks, the good gold plated jacks. Quite a good board. There probably wouldn't be anything underneath, but are very typical of some places when you pick up eWaste. These holes are actually drilled holes, so they do that to render the boards useless for some reason. They're probably just protecting something. But these gold band crystals, I mean, look at that nice chunk of ceramic. There's your gold band. They're really nice and big, so I can at least take them. I think in the I think Desan 999, the guy that does gold recovery on YouTube, he done a batch of these. I think it works out to 14 grams of gold and 14 grams of silver for every kilo of gold band crystal oscillators. 14 grams of gold per kilo and 14 grams of silver. That's pretty damn good. Alright, so yeah, a lot of this board I'll probably, I'm not sure what I'll do with this. It's definitely a telecom grade board. I might just step it down to a server grade and maybe pinch like this Motorola flat pack. I like these ones. That was cool. And then this other oddball thing, it's manufactured in Australia. Serial port, and it looks like, yeah, it's just for some kind of obviously networking thing for aviation. So it looks like we've got 7 cards here. Now these little things can be quite cool. I think I've undone just see if I can start pulling these cards out. There we go. Hopefully they're decent. Okay. Well, there's certainly a high-end card. I don't see anything really for me. There's no gold band crystals. There's a battery got to take off. Yeah, but it is a high-end card. It would go like as a you know, it's probably a server grade here. Just see what's under the sticker. Okay. So with these E-primes that don't show gold around the outside of the silicon chip inside, you see a little square silicon chip, and sometimes that can be goldy color. That's just the silicon, it's not gold. But if you're not seeing gold bonding wise around the outside within that glass circle, most likely it's not gold, it's just silver, or it could be platinum. I'm really not sure. I've had different responses, but so apart from taking this battery out, it's nothing for me to touch. I'm just going to put this into a server grade board because it does have good gold recovery for refiners anyway, not necessarily for the small guy. Not everything is easy to recover for the smaller guys, backyard refiners. So very much the same deal here, but these chips can slightly vary. So it pays to have a look. Again, can't see any gold in the window. So once again, battery off, server grade board. They're still good boards, just not for a backyarder. These cards certainly don't want to come out easy. Just make sure. Just didn't have the screw. Same card, same deal. But at least we can get a higher grade board for it, as opposed to, say, just going into mid-grade. Same deal again. Oh well, there's no extra surprises. They're all identical. Alright, I'll fix all that. So this is mostly extruded aluminium, needs to be cleaned up. Take all this. There's a backplane board in there. It's just going to be it's a low grade backplane board really. So I'll just finish this off. There's not a lot to really look at here. Yeah, just a backplane board. Yep, I'll get that out. Like I said, it's only a lower grade backplane board. It's not going to go into high grade or anything like that. All right, well that's that. Just got to clean that up. And so yeah, still, because they're server grade boards, get some decent value out of them. Usually when we get server grade boards like this, similar, there's usually something for me to take. This Motorola flat pack, you can see it there, Motorola. These can be good for gold recovery, but if I take this chip, then this becomes a mid-grade board. I mean, it's close to a mid-grade board already, but because I can see it is high-end stuff, I'll just be able to get away with this being a server grade board. Yeah, but if I removed even the EEPROM, it would go down to a mid-grade board because it's fully loaded, untouched, server grade. Okay, I've got all the batteries. All right, that's that. I'll move on to these. This stack of boards here I found really interesting. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention these, you know, LAN PC cards. Picking up eWaste, I get a lot like that, just loose, and they also come in some boards, and if you're depopulating the boards, then you'll get these cards as well. And they're actually quite good. The boards are a higher grade board usually, depending on the make and the model and whatever, but yeah, surprisingly, I mean, they are a network card, so pretty much anything telecom, you know, network has to be, you know, reasonably good quality. And so I can see 2 gold band crystals. Well, that's a start. And for people that are into gold recovery, you know, they might want to completely depopulate these boards. You know, maybe these little ones you can do in a hot sand bath, whereas most bigger boards like that, you can't use a hot sand bath. It's just not enough to melt the solder, whereas a lot of these are sort of like surface mounted instead of pinhole, through hole, and so easier to depopulate just with hot sand. And then you can see there's quite a lot, and it's actually reasonably good quality gold flashing. So it's not necessarily plated, it's more flashed, but this whole board would be flashed. Nice little jacks there. Yeah, you know, some ICs all over it. Even under this shield there'll be some more ICs, most likely. There we go. Don't know what those little orange things are. They look like some kind of capacitor or something. Oh, there's another gold band crystal under. Actually, there's. Yep. Looks like there's 3 more gold band crystals. So there's a couple of small ones on this side. There's a big one in there, nice chunky one. And I'm not sure if these ones are or not. No, they're not. They're just shields. So 1 extra gold band crystal in there. Nice. There you go. So yeah, these wireless LAN cards, pretty awesome. Sometimes they're not as good, but they should still go in to a higher grade. So the boards that I wanted to show was this bunch of about 40 boards all up, and yeah, you can see they're a pretty good higher grade board. These I grade as a motherboard for one very reason. So yeah, but if you look at that board, it's not a great deal. If you actually remove some of the removable ICs, you definitely get it down to low grade, a mid grade. But if you started removing all the chips, obviously it would end up as a low grade. But yeah, so that's the thing that is the standout of this board. And so some of you might be familiar with the look of that cap. And so they're not likely to be, you know, what these are, but you know, the boards themselves, you wouldn't think, oh yeah, you think, okay, yeah, just a mid-grade board, you know, maybe a motherboard grade or value anyway. So yeah, the big reveal, and you know what that is. That's the 186 CPU. Intel. Sometimes I've done quite a few of these boards, well, not that many, a couple of dozen, and some of them have been AMD 186s, and this one's another variation of Intel. So there you go. So that's the beautiful 186. Also the 286 looks like that as well in this format. And so they don't weigh much. They're great gold recovery, and they're worth, like, as gold recovery chips, they're worth quite a bit because they don't weigh much, and you need quite a lot for a pound or especially a kilo. But with these little 186s, if you're pulling them out of boards, you can actually resell these probably as collectibles. They generally go for about $20 each. Or so. It would probably depend on the model, but yeah, I love them. They're great little things, and a couple I took off just before. So yeah, this one is definitely a different one. Again, it's got the Intel 82 on the front. Yeah, just different variations, which makes it a bit interesting. So yeah, once I've taken out that, it still kind of goes close as it's a higher grade board, so it would go close as the same value, similar value to a motherboard, especially if that chip was left in. But what I do with these is I bring them down to a mid-grade board. So instead of trying to get anything higher, I try not to remove too much. You see this EEPROM here, I don't see any gold visible, so it's most likely just a silver one, or possibly platinum. It's really hard to tell because I haven't had a definite feedback from anyone that's doing gold recovery and what they're actually getting out of, what metals are actually in a silver colored EEPROM. But so all I want to do is bring it down closer to a mid-grade board, and I just want to remove these two IC chips because they are removable ones, so nice and easy. When you got so many boards of the same, it always pays to look up the first two ICs just in case they turn out to be a rare thing, and then you might be able to sell them as well. If you know that they're worthwhile selling and you got quite a lot of boards, then you would start doing it carefully. And the only other thing that I will remove from this board is this big flat pack here. And so I'm bringing this right down to mid-grade board. And there's my little flat pack. Nice. It's quite a good chunky one. Okay, and so now I've still got myself a mid-grade board because I've still got all these ceramic ICs here. I don't think that I've tested a couple. They didn't seem to have much gold, but the really cool thing about this board, it's got layers of all different types of components, and really interesting components like these little square things. These are the old style SMD tantalum capacitors. You got diodes here. And then what else did I want to show you? Oh yeah, the little MLCC capacitors, the red ones. So usually you'll see them in blue. These ones are red. So them tantalum capacitors are interesting. And obviously a lot of things. These capacitors here are just aluminium. Yeah, so yeah, quite an interesting board. But it's just so time consuming to try and pick out these MLCCs and even these tantalum capacitors. There's quite a lot of them. So still a really good mid-grade board for whoever takes them off my hands. So that's all I'm going to do here right now, is just do that over and over and get these boards processed and down to mid-grade. Look at that. Another kind of variation. So many variations. And so pretty awesome. I've got couldn't find this screwdriver. I've got two screwdrivers. And my flat pack. Same with the flat pack, you can always look them up. You never know, you could be surprised, you might get $20 a pop. just for them. So I won't worry about the E-Prime. I'll leave that on. And it's still a good a mid-grade or a peripheral board, if you like. Still got a lot of IC chips running all around. It's, you know, mid-grade is still it's okay. Well, the mid-grade here in Australia is the equivalent in the States is peripheral board. So that's the only difference in terminology. 2 dips, and obviously we don't want to forget, oh, keep going the wrong way, forget our little 186, can't forget them. So yeah, about 40 boards here, so leave it with me. Okay, so I've finished these boards. I've got them down to just removing the 4 chips that I've wanted, obviously the CPU, and left them like that. I'll decide whether I want to pick off any of this. Otherwise, I'll just give them to my buyer as just the bonus. And down here is what I got off. So I got a bunch of nice looking flat packs. You can look them up. Got my big bunch of plastic IC chips. Whether they've got gold in there or not is debatable. And yeah, there was only about 26 or 29 boards. So I thought there were more. There might be a few scattered around. So that's my little collection of 186s out of just this batch. And so there's a couple of, probably 3 variations of the Intel 186s. And because they've been in the boards for all this time, they're all in, you know, great condition. And out of that, I think there's another 1 or 2 lying around somewhere, but also some AMD 186s. So just a nice little variation with their logo there. So yeah, it's just interesting to see all different variations. So like this Intel here, I like this one, and it's Intel 82, whereas this AMD variety it's Intel 1978. So some really early ones, and in great condition, these ones really, oh, except for one, really nice and shiny. So an awesome way to stack gold and also collectible CPUs. Like I said, you'll probably get more for them at the moment as a collectible, but you know, when you've got so, you know, if you get so many, yeah, you can slowly trickle them out, but it still takes a long time to even sell them individually, but certainly worth it. And well, if not, one day gold could go up so high that yeah, that you're actually getting more gold than collectors are prepared to pay for them. But yeah, there you go. Not sure if I should continue stretching the video out. Maybe I'll just leave it at that and just do a few more videos closer together rather than so far apart. But I've got another batch of the apples. Can't remember what they're called, but they're all grey. So, you know, I know some colours are really collectible than others. So I'm not sure. I might keep them just for a bit of fun, but I'll probably just end up scrapping them out. Maybe keep 1 or 2 better ones as potential collectibles. But yeah, so just got a few there. I'm just putting them into the garage at the moment, so to get them out of the rain, if I can make some room in there. All right, well, yeah, that'll probably be it. Rather than a scrap marathon, we'll just it'll just be a regular scrap session, a few oddball things, and hopefully I'll make it a bit more interesting as we go. But yeah, guys, hope that was a bit of fun for you. I'm just plodding along here and scrapping as much as I can whilst I'm not busy doing pickups and stuff. So yeah, so look after yourselves and keep scrapping, and I'll catch you real soon.